Hey guys, what's up? My name's Brent. I'm one of the co-founders at ShareGrid, and today I wanted to kind of talk about how to keep your gear organized. It's super important nowadays if you own a lot of gear to keep your inventory in line, have a spreadsheet, know what gear is out, what gear is not, what gear is broken, what gear is not, what goes with what package, but also what happens if your gear becomes stolen or it all of a sudden is missing. It's really important to keep track of this gear and also have some kind of recourse in case this does happen. So the first tool that you should definitely use is a website called LensTag. It's a great website. It's been around for quite a few years. We actually know the founder, Trevor. He's a super smart guy. And what LensTag is it's a database that once you buy gear, you can upload the information such as the serial number and the model number, etc. To LensTag. It's a database that everyone uses if people are buying and selling gear on Craigslist or Facebook or wherever. They can check LensTag to see if this gear is marked stolen or not. So if your gear all of a sudden becomes missing or stolen, you can then mark it as stolen or missing on LensTag. And therefore, whoever's retrieving it should know about LensTag and check. There's been some, success stories. Petapixel did a write-up a couple years ago about some gear that was retrieved. So it seems to be working. It's also got another cool tool that, if you've taken photos with your camera and your lens, and a lot of times, I didn't even know this, there is metadata on the back end that captures the serial number and all the information pertaining to your piece of equipment. And you can search the web via LensTag for your own images that has that metadata on it. So you can actually find people that are using your own images without your permission, which I don't know the whole technology on that. I won't try to figure that out. I hope I never have to use it. But from what I understand, that's something LensTag does, which I think is pretty cool, especially for the photographers out there. The other thing that I think is so rad is this website called Esta. Not a lot of people know about it, and I want everyone to look at this website. This is so important. This is really just for theft, and it's a website where filmmakers and production companies and rental houses all over the country use. So when a gear becomes stolen, you report it on Esta immediately. It's kind of like LensTag, where it's a database where if you're trying to buy someone's gear from them, you should check Esta first and check the serial numbers that are put up there and see if it's that gear. I've heard of a lot of success stories of people who have retrieved their gear, got the authorities involved, and actually were able to put away the thieves, which is what we want. The other tool that's really exciting that's not out yet, but they have a Kickstarter page and they're kicking butt on this Kickstarter page. It's called Gear Eye. This is really interesting to me because what it is a very thin magnetic strip that you can put on all of your pieces of gear. You can actually hide it, hopefully on some pieces of gear, which is pretty awesome. Let's say you have a camera package with lenses and accessories and whatever. I know for me, that package can get mixed up sometimes. Sometimes I take it out and put it in other Pelican cases, and I kind of lose track of some of my gear. Well, if you build your package the way you want it and put all of the Gear Eye, strips on it, and tell the system, this is the package. Everything that's in this case needs to be together at all times. Before you send out that camera package or you take it out on your own trip or your weekend getaway, whatever you're doing, you can have Gear Eye check to make sure that all of your items are there. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to shoots, I've gone on a weekend trip, I've gone on photo shoots, I've sent out my gear, and I've forgotten something. I've forgotten a lens, I've forgotten a tripod plate. I always forget tripod plates, let's be honest. I've forgotten cards, I've forgotten filters, I mean the list goes on. It's really hard to keep track nowadays of all of your accessories, all of these small little things that matter. So it's kind of like digitizing your inventory as opposed to laying it all out on your floor and trying to pick all the pieces and kind of piecemeal it together. And it's also apparently got some kind of GPS tracking, so if you've lost your gear, which I lose all the time in my closet or on the floor or wherever, and sometimes I can't find certain pieces, it'll help you find those pieces, which is pretty cool. The last thing, and I don't really have an example because I don't really need one, but you should barcode all of your gear, especially if you have a lot of gear. On ShareGrid, we have members who own hundreds, thousands of pieces of equipment, and they all barcode it, and that's the only way that they can keep track now their business on ShareGrid and outside of ShareGrid. So that's it for now. If you have any questions or suggestions on other ways to keep your gear safe, please leave it in the comments below. I'm sure this isn't everything. These are just some of the tools and ideas that I know about and some of the tools that I use to keep my gear safe that I wanted to share with the community, but I'm sure there's plenty of other ways to do so. And this is what we got to do. We got to work together and we have to communicate about how to keep each other safe and organized. Let's be honest, it's an indie filmmaker's world nowadays. People own gear, they're renting it all the time on ShareGrid and outside of ShareGrid, and you gotta keep your gear organized for you and your clients, and also to protect yourself in the event that something goes missing or becomes stolen. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, get out there, start shooting, and I'll see you next time.